Jordan, go get a pencil. Go get a pencil. All right, as we saw today in our magic trick, what did happen with all those triangles that we cut up? They fit together to make how much? 180. So that's going to be our first theorem, is the triangle angle sum theorem. Triangle angle sum theorem. So we're talking about a triangle, which has how many angles? 3. So all 3 angles in a triangle, or all 3 angles of a triangle. And sum means we're doing what operation? If I'm doing a sum of numbers, am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Adding. So all 3 angles of a triangle add to how many degrees? 180. Now this theorem, remember, theorems are things we can prove. So we could write a 2-column proof and explain how this works, why it works every single time. But this theorem is, I'm going to be honest with you, really long and boring. And it just feels very excessive. So we're not going to do the proof for it. We're just going to use it. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah? Okay. All right, so we're going to do 2 examples with this one, and then we have one other theorem. That theorem we can kind of go through and explain why it is the way it is. Okay, so as we take a look at this, number 1, we're going to draw an obtuse triangle. Okay, and in that obtuse triangle, we're going to know 2 angles. I'm going to find the last one. So we know that this is 107 degrees here. So 107. And we're going to say this one is 36 degrees. And we're going to try and find this one here. I don't think my triangle ended up, the drawing's not quite exact, but that's okay. Okay, a couple ways to do it. In fact, we kind of came up with 3 different ways in my last class of how to do this. So how could we do this problem? How would I find out that missing amount? We know all together they have to be how much? 180. So how am I going to find one missing amount if I know 2 of the amounts? Yeah, we could add them. 107 plus 36. Then what do we do with that amount? Subtract them from 180. Okay. And we get 37. What's another way we could do it? Just take 180 and subtract 107 and subtract 36. And we get 37. Either way, that question mark is 37. Okay, a couple ways we could do that. Then we could show that work. We can show it as question mark plus 107 plus 36 equals 180. So those of you that said add them together first, then subtract, you technically wrote and solved an equation in your head. Did you actually write and solve an equation in your head? Probably not, but that's actually what you're doing. So 107 plus 36 is, I don't remember. 143, good, super smart. 143 equals 180. And then you subtract 143. Somebody's got their music really loud. If you're listening to music, can you turn that down, please? Thank you. 180 minus 143, we have 37. If you're sitting next to the person that was listening to it loud and they can't hear me say it's loud, tap them and say, hey, your music's loud. Okay, either way is fine, however you do it. If I'm asking you to show your work, you could choose to show your work like this. Or you could choose to show your work by saying 107 plus 36 equals 143. 180 minus 143 is 37. Or you could show your work by just saying 180 minus 107 minus 36. Lots of ways to do these problems. Okay, one more problem like this, number 2 with this theorem. And then we're going to do 2 more with a different theorem. Okay, number 2, we're going to create kind of an X shape here. Try and make it so the X is a little off to the side. I made this one a little too long. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to connect them, and we have 2 triangles. It's almost like the 2 triangles are kissing. Gross. You guys don't think it's gross that 2 triangles are kissing? You're okay with kissing? Okay. Sounds good. All right, in this triangle, what we know is we know that this bottom one, what? What's happening? I don't know. All right, we have 85 degrees here. And we have 40 degrees here. Okay, what else I know is that these 2 angles are going to be the same. So I'm going to show that they're congruent by using those 2 little arcs. Somebody is jamming. Alright, so this is going to be angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. And that's our goal, is we're going to find all of those angles. Now, when we're given a drawing or a diagram and they're numbered, a lot of times our brain wants to do it in order. We want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's what we've been taught to do. But we can't always do that. Okay, so as I take a look at these triangles, which one am I going to start with, the one on the left or the one on the right? Left. Bro. 100% was you. They just turned it down when I walked over. All right. So as you take a look at it, which triangle has the most information? The one on the left or the one on the right? Left. So I'm going to color code this just so I can see my work a little bit better. So I'm going to call this one the orange triangle. So pick a color. It doesn't have to be orange, whichever color you have. Just use that. Doesn't matter. You could also use a highlighter. Okay, and we're just missing 1 angle there. So we're going to actually start by finding angle 4 first. So I know 2 of the angles, 40 and 85. I'm missing 1 angle. So we can do 40 plus 85 is how much? 125. All right, Jordan, can you put your phone away? Thank you. Okay, and we're doing 180 minus that, because all together has to be 180. So 180 minus 125. And we get 55. Okay, I'm just going to box that in orange. That way I know that went with my orange triangle, that this work was for that. So we actually started with angle 4. Angle 4 is 55 degrees. Now as I go into the other triangle, I'm going to call it my blue triangle, what angle are we actually going to start with in the blue triangle? 1, 2, or 3? 3. Yeah, 3. When I look at 4 and 3, what kind of angles are 4 and 3? Vertical. Good. Those are vertical angles. They're across from each other. And what do we know about vertical angles? They're congruent. They're equal. So 3 and 4 are the same. So angle 4 is 55, which means angle 3 is also 55. Okay, now that I know what angle 3 is 55, we can figure out angle 1 and 2. We know angle 1 and 2 are congruent, so we're going to get the same number here again. So the way I do this is in my head, or not in my head, but I use a calculator and just write the equation in my head, solve it. So I'm going to start with 180. I'm going to take away the part we know. What's the part that we know? 55. I get 125, but that's for both 1 and 2 together. So I need to take that and I need to split it into 2 parts. So divide by what? 2. And we get 62.5. Okay, so a couple ways we can show our work for that. If we wanted to show our work algebraically in the way that we would in intermediate algebra, we would say angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180. And 1 and 2, we don't know those amounts, but we know they're the same. So we can use x and x. And then what do we know angle 3 is? 55 equals 180. But x and x together is how many x's? 2. So we could write 2x plus 55 equals 180. So this is really where I picked up here. And this is what I just did in my calculator, was this part here. We took 180 and we took away the part we know. So we subtracted 55. And then 2x equals, I don't remember what that was. 125. And then we knew we had to do that into 2 parts equally. So we took, So we took that 125 and we had to split it into 2. So we just divide by 2. And our x is 62.5. Alright, if you did not do all of this work, if you preferred it just to grab the calculator, subtract what you know, and then divide it into 2 equal parts, that's fine. This is just showing it algebraically when your math teachers are like, you use math every day. Okay, this is what we technically did in our heads. We just didn't take time to write it down when we did it the first time. If you're like, the first time made way more sense. Guess what? It's the same thing. So it can't make more sense than what we already did. All right, we have one more theorem, so I'm going to go to the next page because I'm out of space. So if you need to go to the next page, you can. Depends on how big you're writing. All right, last theorem here is going to be the exterior angle theorem. Exterior angle theorem. I'm in the middle of notes right now. Now this theorem is a little goofy. One, it's goofy because, I don't know. To me, I would rather just do the long way. This is kind of more of a shortcut. It's telling you how to get to the answer quickly. Okay? I would just do the long way because it's really only skipping one step. That's why I think it's goofy. Is because most students, when they find these problems, they start, your brain just automatically starts doing it, and your brain will automatically do it the long way. This theorem is just kind of like a shortcut. It's just allowing you to skip over one step. It's not really that much of a help, but we'll go through it. What does exterior mean again? Outside. So here we're going to have a triangle. And we're going to extend one side so that it's like kind of on the outside. So here's my exterior angle. A little bit. Yeah. Okay, this is our exterior angle. Now we're going to talk about the remote interior angles. When you use a remote or like a remote control device, you're flying a drone, you have the remote, or you're using a remote on a TV, do you have to be right next to the thing you're using it for? No, so our remote interior angles, we're going to pick two inside angles that aren't touching the exterior angle. So that's going to be this one here and this one here. Okay? So those are our two remote interior angles. Okay, and this theorem just allows us to skip over one part, and we'll talk a little bit. I'll show you in the next one why it allows us. We'll do it the long way first, then we'll do it the quick way. Okay, and this theorem says that, what does it say? You add the remote interior angles. Do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you want him to take you? You can go ask him if you want. Okay, add the remote interior angles. Just say if you can escort you. No, we're almost done. You decided to eat a cookie before class. Do the notes. He can go quick. Yeah, but that one can't. All right, so our remote interior angles, we're going to add those together. And it to equal the exterior angle. Hey, do you have a pass? Yeah. Okay. All right, again, we'll just talk through it, why it works in this first one, and then the next one we'll just use it. Okay, so here's number 3. Number 3, we're going to do a triangle that looks kind of like this. And we're going to be missing the exterior angle, so that's going to be our question mark is there. And then we know the inside angles here. This is going to be 78 degrees. And this one is going to be 33 degrees. So those ones are our remote. They're not touching that exterior one, so we can use those two. That's a 33, not an 83. No, it looks like an 83. It's a 33. Okay, the way that we would do this the long way is you'd probably take out your calculator. We know that inside the triangle adds up to how many? 180. So we would do 180 minus 83 and 78, where you could do 78 plus 33 is 111. And then we could do 180 minus 111, and that would tell us the other inside angle is 69. So we can write that lightly here. It wasn't part of the problem, but we found it. We know that's 69 degrees. But then what do I know about these two angles? This one, the inside right next to it, and the one outside. What kind of angles are they? Supplementary. They add up to 180. So then I would just do 180 minus 69. But that's our math facts that just tell us that 180 minus 69 is going to give us the original answer, 111. So it's just cutting out this middle two steps here. And it's just allowing you to say, oh, we can just do 78 plus 33 equals 111. And rather than subtracting from 180 twice, 180 minus 111, then 180 minus whatever that answer is, we just know the answer is 111. So like I said, with me personally, I go through and my brain just starts finding this inside angle before I would even know what I'm doing, before I even look at this problem, I would know that this inside is 69, and then I would subtract it from 180 to get this outside 111. So it's up to you. It doesn't matter which way you do it. If you notice right away, oh, I can just add these together and get that outside angle, you're good to go. Okay, and part of the reason why for me it would work is because I just do 180 minus 78 minus 33. I don't even add those together. All right, last one. This one's going to look a little bit like a flag. Okay, this time we know that this top angle is 85 degrees. And we know the outside angle is 126, our exterior angle. We're going to be looking for that other remote interior angle. So again, we know we could do it the long way. We could figure out this inside angle. We could do 180 minus 126, find this inside. And then knowing that inside, find the missing one, just like we did on the last page. Or we know that when I do question mark plus 85, the answer is going to be 126. Some of you might do it that way. Some of you might take the whole 126 and subtract, what's the part? 85. Thank you. Either way is the same answer. Okay, either you're thinking what plus 85 equals 126, or you're thinking 126 minus 85 equals what? Is it? Do I believe you? I do. So our question mark equals 41 degrees. So today, I know the notes felt long, but that's that's mostly because I was trying to show you a couple different ways to do the problems. The homework should not take you that long because you're going to find a way that works for you. And then you're going to go through it and just find those answers. And it should go a little faster. We're not going to talk on the problems. You're not going through all the different ways you could find the answer. You're just doing it one way, find the answer, be done.